Liberals are trying to force vaccine mandates, but not everyone's on board, including some of the biggest stars in sports. The NBA wants all players vaccinated before the start of the season, and players who refuse could lose pay. Top players like LeBron James are coming around to getting the shot, but he and others say it's about choice.
I think everyone has their own choice to do what they feel is right for themselves and their family. I felt like it was best suited for not only me, but for my family and for my friends. And, and that's why I decided to do it.
I just would love to just keep that private and, handle it the right way with my team and go forward.
It is my belief that the vaccine status of every person should be their own choice and completely up to them without bullying, without being pressured, or without being forced into doing so. I'm not ashamed to say that I'm uncomfortable with taking the vaccine at this time.
So go around the table. Dana, these guys are really eloquent. Did you hear them?
I was just thinking they're so thoughtful and they've thought it through. And I think that like the LeBron James comments, that might be very helpful for people who are hesitant to get the vaccine. You have to wonder, where was that before? Like, the White House has phone numbers for all these people to try to help make that happen. They're extremely thoughtful, and they spoke with such care and compassion. And if you contrast that with when President Biden gave the speeches and he would just want to go after Republicans who weren't vaccinated, which is, there are some, yes, but it's not the entire population of the unvaccinated. It's not Republicans. But he was so aggressive and kind of mean to them. And I thought that was quite impressive. The one thing we have seemed to completely fall down on was the testing and any sort of proof or ability to show that you have natural immunity.
Yeah.
And it's a complete and total failure.
And Jesse, watching Jonathan Isaac there red pill the media on natural immunity was hilarious.
Well, that's why people think the system is rigged, because white Trump-supporting American from Florida, a little hesitant about getting the shot. Joe Biden scorches that person.
Yep.
But a high-profile millionaire NBA star comes out and says, I'm a little hesitant about getting the shot. It's crickets. And that's what people don't like in this country. They just want to be treated fairly. It's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter rallies, remember?
Yeah.
Lockdown, quarantine. But, if you're going to protest,
won't spread there.
That's not going to spread at all. That's why people don't trust the system and don't trust the science, because the science changes depending on who bucks the system.
Harold?
They have every right. I'm vaccinated. Can't wait to get the booster. The first night I came on this show, Jesse, you shared that we shouldn't have to wear masks if we're vaccinated because you have such a small chance of contracting this virus or getting the virus. I would hope that everyone would get vaccinated, and I don't racialize these things. It's unfortunate that has occurred. If LeBron James or Kyrie Irving or any basketball player, and I like and support them all, there are consequences for not getting vaccinated. You're not going to be able to play. Just like if I don't vaccinate my children, not with the COVID vaccine. If I don't vaccinate my kids, they can't go to school. So it's a consequence that if I say I'm going to exercise my choice and my freedom, that's fine. But there are consequences. United Airlines fired 600 people today. You know why? Because they didn't get vaccinated. Right. And that's the consequence of not doing it.
One of the guys, I think it was Wiggins, tried to get a religious exemption and got denied. So it looks like there's no
we don't know the facts behind
care for people with religious exemptions either.
Dana brought up this, and there is no middle ground for people who had COVID, who have natural immunity, who can prove it. I had COVID in March. I went ahead and got vaccinated, but Jonathan Isaac, and you heard from him a small part of what he said from the Orlando Magic, gave this incredibly well-reasoned speech or made comments about he had COVID. Right. And these people are lost. You're either vaccinated or you're some kind of whacked out, dirty, unvaxxed derelict. And the Biden rules on businesses coming out of OSHA that previous COVID infections do not excuse employees from the vaccine. Natural immunity could be more robust, tends to be more robust and longer lasting. And there is some evidence that people who have natural immunity or strong natural immunity are at a heightened risk of vaccine side effects. That's Dr. Marty McCary. But you know why all of these NBA players are going to get vaccinated? Because they're not going to get paid for games unless they do. That's happened today. So that's all the wives and all the girlfriends saying, you're playing. You're getting the shot. I'm going with you. I'm going to watch and make sure you got it.
It's called capitalism.
And you're going to.
I encourage everyone, by the way, to listen to that full Jonathan Isaac thing. It's about a minute and 50 seconds. It was so eloquent and well stated, and he just humiliated the media people in the audience who acted like jerks with him.
And Fauci recently was asked about natural immunity, and his answer was, I'll get back to you on it.
Ask Jonathan Isaac. Ask Jonathan Isaac.